Here is a sentence from a webpage I'm going to link in the description box below. It is from a man who grew up as a child in the 1930s. As an adult, I knew survivors, men who couldn't father children because they had mums as a child, a woman with flail arm from polio, people with chickenpox scars, those deafened because of measles, a man who spent 3 years in a tuberculosis sanitarium, and a woman whose child was mentally disabled because she got German measles while she was pregnant. And I personally have scars from chickenpox right on my forehead, but I am one of the lucky ones. I was very lucky that I didn't get one of the boils on my cornea that could have left me blind, or on my eardrum that could have left me deaf. But anecdotes like that were very common for me when I was growing up, and that is why vaccination is not a choice. Before we get any further into this video, let me specify, please don't come and leave comments like vaccinations cause autism or something like that in the comments, because that study was over 20 years old and it was refuted over a decade ago. And you are hearing this from someone who has worked in autism research, who has publications on autism in renowned journals, and who has worked with very well-known psychiatrists who work with kids on autism spectrum disorder. So if you still decide to come and leave a comment about vaccines causing autism, just know that that comment is going to be immediately deleted, because that just proves that you don't even want to listen to scientists and doctors. All right? Vaccination is not a choice. It is a necessity of a society, similar to, but exponentially more important than not driving while you're drunk. You don't just put yourself in danger, but you also put those around you in danger. Those who are deciding against vaccination right now have forgotten that life expectancy before vaccination was only 35 to 40 years, and 1 in every 100 infants born didn't even make it to their first birthday. In this video, we are going to talk about infectious diseases, immune response, and vaccination, while trying to avoid as much scientific and medical jargon as possible. In an individual, whenever we encounter microorganisms that are capable of causing diseases, also known as pathogens, under normal circumstances, your immune system gets to work. It comes up with an attack plan which is customized to each pathogen. It attacks the pathogen and it keeps on modifying this attack strategy until it completely kills all the pathogens in our body and your body is completely free of it. And then it saves a blueprint of sorts of this attack plan for future use. So that in future, if you come across a same pathogen, it does not have to start all the way from scratch. And because of that, you're cured faster and without as much discomfort as the very first time you encountered it. However, diseases like polio, measles, or smallpox, they don't give your body enough time to come up with a successful attack strategy, and because of which your body ends up losing its battle either partially or fully, resulting in either deformity, like my chickenpox scars, or disability, like in cases of polio, or worst case scenario, death. Now, in case of infectious diseases, these pathogens can just jump from body to body, and as it has happened in the past, they can end up wiping out entire societies. Did you guys know that in 1520s, 94% of the Inca population was wiped out by smallpox? 94%. And now we don't even think twice about smallpox. And that is because of severe steps that were taken by governments and organizations like the World Health Organization, which involved a lot of effort, time, and money to finally eradicate this disease. If you want to know how intense that was, I'm going to leave a link in the description box below about eradication of smallpox from India and from the world. Definitely check it out. These pathogens can sometimes stay dormant either in an object or also in human or animal bodies for long periods of time. And whenever it finds a suitable host, they can just jump back into action and continue on their path of devastation. Now let's talk about what vaccines do. Vaccines are actually either dead or weakened form of the pathogen itself, but it is mild enough that our body can fight off the infection. And it does, and while doing so, it actually generates the blueprint of the attack plan that we just talked about. So that, God forbid, if you ever encounter an epidemic of that particular disease, your body is ready and it knows how to get rid of that pathogen from your body in its early stages before it has had a chance to weaken your system enough to leave you defenseless and continue spreading itself using you as a carrier. One thing people forget about pathogens is that when given a chance, it will not just infect and kill its host, but it can also mutate. It can mutate into a stronger version, or it can mutate into a completely new disease that we don't have any treatment or vaccine against. And a pathogen does not care what your race is, whether you are a Hindu or Muslim or a Christian. It doesn't care what your skin color is. It does not care how tall, big, pretty, or ugly you are. Whether you're a vegan or you're a meat eater, it does not care whether you were born in US or in slums of Africa. All it cares about is whether you were vaccinated against it or not. Now, because microorganisms or pathogens are diseases that are attacking human bodies, and human bodies are built very differently from plants, it is nearly impossible to build vaccines that are completely vegan. There are going to be some human and or animal cells that are involved in the development of a vaccine. So it is idiotic to say that I'm not going to take a vaccine because it is not vegan. The next excuse we hear against vaccine is that it has preservatives in them. Vaccines are biological material, so it's going to spoil, so it needs to be preserved. Maybe there is one way you can have vaccines that don't have preservatives in them, which is get them fresh. Maybe you can go sit in a lab and wait for them to finish generating a fresh batch of vaccines and you can take it before they need to be preserved. But that also means that that batch has not been tested for its efficacy or even its safety. And can you even imagine trying to develop a fresh batch of vaccine for all the diseases that we need to be vaccinated against? For everyone, the time and the effort that will be needed to do that, it is nearly impossible. The preservatives that are used in the vaccines have been cleared to be safe for human usage by health organizations worldwide. If they were not, they would not be present in the vaccines. There is a very, 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 very small chance that you could have a reaction to these preservatives, but it is so minimal. And the dangers of having an epidemic of a disease is so huge that you cannot say that that is a reason why you're not taking a vaccine. Now, one more thing that I noticed in the comments below KatVonD's post against vaccination is that people are using the word holistic medicine as if it is in contrast to vaccines. That just goes to show that those people neither understand holistic medicine nor do they understand any science. I totally believe in holistic medicine. I totally believe in Ayurveda. I chose to have a completely natural birth for my first child with a midwife and not with a doctor. I did not take any pain medications during the process. The second child did not give me the luxury, but that was my choice. Holistic medicine has been present for thousands of years, and I believe in them. But vaccines were generated when holistic medicine or the modern medicine was actually failing to protect us against these diseases. So holistic medicine is not an excuse to not take vaccinations. Your holistic medicine will work better for you if you are vaccinated and protected against those deadly diseases. Then your holistic medicine actually has a chance to work on your body and make it better. Now, KatVonD is choosing to not vaccinate her child. What does that mean? It means that in future, if that child ever encounters a deadly pathogen, he or she is not going to be protected against it. He or she is going to get infected and get sick from it. His or her body is going to allow the pathogen a place to grow, multiply, and even possibly mutate into something that we don't have a treatment for yet. He or she is then going to take that deadly virus or infection in their body before they are diagnosed and walk around the society infecting everybody in their path, and that is going to include babies who have not had a chance to get vaccinated yet. It's going to include people whose immune systems have been weakened because they are sick or they are elderly or maybe they have cancer and they're going through chemotherapy. And it's going to include people who don't have the luxury to be vaccinated because they are allergic to certain things or their own mutations do not allow them to take vaccines. And it can very well result in a pandemic that we will not be able to control or contain or treat because of a possibly mutated pathogen. So vaccination is not a personal choice. It is not a personal choice like deciding to go vegan or to eat meat or deciding for a home birth against a hospital birth. In fact, KatVonD is even able to treat it as a choice because everyone surrounding her is vaccinated. If she was in an era or in a place where vaccinations are rare, she would be begging to have her kid vaccinated against these diseases. When you are choosing against vaccination, you are putting the entire society in danger. And when you are an influential person like KatVonD, by choosing to not vaccinate your child and spreading the message about not vaccinating your child, now you're creating multiple people who will go against vaccination. When there are multiple people in a society who decide against vaccination, the danger to the society does not just multiply. It actually grows exponentially. It is very dangerous and extremely irresponsible of her. And that is actually making me really angry because she is making the world that my kids are going to grow up in a little bit more unsafe. And anyone who is supporting the non-vaccination stance, I can bet my life on it, if your child is ever sick in future and needs medication, you are not going to wait around trying to find out if that medication is vegan or not, or if it has preservatives or not. You're just going to give the child what it needs to survive and then pray that it makes it through. So it is ridiculous to not prevent it from the get-go. And now I'm going to talk directly to you, Kat, or any of you first-time mothers out there who are worried like her. I get it. I have been there. I understand that you're scared, you're concerned, you want to give your child the best chance you can in this world. And even as a scientist, I had my concerns. But I'm telling you that throughout your life as a mother, you will be making decisions and choosing the lesser of the evils. And I believe that you are making a terrible mistake by choosing against vaccination. I urge you, and as a mother of two beautiful boys who are my world, I beg you to vaccinate your children and to spread the message about vaccination. Basically, what I'm saying is that despite the small risk that is involved in vaccinations, the benefits hugely outweigh the risks and a possible horrible outcome we could have if more and more people choose to stay unvaccinated. I would really like to know what your thoughts are on this topic. Please be respectful and do not attack anyone in the comments below. I would urge you to go and politely request KatVonD to get a second opinion and change her mind if possible. But be polite, be nice, because you know what can spread faster than an infectious disease? It's hate, and we definitely don't need that. Thank you for watching. Bye.